segment from boating and road safety. We're talking about the safety of your appliances at home over the Easter and, of course, during this heat. We have with us in studio this morning Senior Corporate Communications Officer Emmanuel Petch. Good morning.
Good morning.
And he's joined by Katie Usher, the Health and Environment Specialist. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning.
And you guys are both from Belize Electricity Limited.
Yes, that's
we
right.
are.
Just a small little correction. Sure. The topic is actually energy conservation and then general safety tips
energy
for this Easter. Yeah.
Slipped my mind.
Correct.
All right.
That's fine.
I'm allowed a mistake here and there, right? Fair enough. All right. So where do you guys want to begin from? Because we're looking at what seems to be a broad area of discussion.
Yes.
I'll leave it up to you, Emmanuel.
I mean, it's Easter. And the heat is on, right? And there's a lot of Belizeans love their playa, their beaches, your lagoons, depending on where in Belize you are. People will be getting out. So we at BL want to make sure that people, while they are engaging in Easter activities, stay safe while doing those activities.
Right.
And also be mindful of how the increased temperatures affect our energy habits, our energy consumption habits. So that's the topic that we came here to talk about because we care about how our customers stay safe this week, throughout this weekend, right? So we want to start there with the Easter safety tips because it's very important, and as Katie will tell you, safety is huge for BEL. It's one of the cornerstones of our values, of our mission, of who we are.
Yes. As a starter or core value, one of our core values is that we never compromise on safety. So at all times we educate our employees and we pass that information on to the general public and our customers, you know. And it's so good that you had the previous segment talking about road safety because everybody, or you know, most persons may be leaving their homes to the different districts via the highways, right? And so we are educating our staff and our general public to do so safely. You can have fun safely.
Yeah.
Responsibly,
yes, right? And so, you know, you guys spoke, I was listening a little and, you know, you spoke about the roadworthiness of the vehicle. So ensuring that your vehicle is safe to take you from point A to point B and back home, right? And other things like buckling up, that's not hard to do, right? And everybody, all occupants in the vehicle, we encourage to buckle up. And actually that's a law now, right? Everybody in the vehicle must be wearing seat belts. And then
you know, as easy and as straightforward as it is, right? It's the most challenging thing for many of us, either as drivers or as passengers in a vehicle. Because you oftentimes have to tell somebody, why put on a seatbelt?
Yeah.
Right.
But the seatbelt is right there, and we know instinctively that that's what we should do. But it's always a trick there.
It's intentional
but
habits.
It's right, intentional. We say safety is intentional, right? At the end of the day, it's about saving lives.
Yeah.
And when we go outside of the country, we wear it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a habit for us to start to cultivate it.
Well,
right?
let's talk about some of those habits that we should be cultivating as it relates to energy conservation. Of course, we're all planning to beat the heat the best way we possibly can, but what is the advice being given from the Belize Electricity Limited?
Well, just to put things into perspective a little bit, we're looking at 2023. We don't have to go far. 2023 was the hottest years ever recorded. And we've been recording temperatures as far back as 1980s, 1979 to be specific. So 45 years ago, we've been recording temperatures, and 2023 was the hottest year
on record
ever.
Yep.
And 2024 is not looking any different.
Yeah.
We've been breaking records after records of the hottest months.
We're in the triple digits when it comes to temperatures at this point.
Climate change is real.
It's real.
Climate change is real. And so we want our customers to be mindful of how that affects their energy consumption habits and what implications that has for the energy sector, particularly as it impacts customers directly through the rises in their consumption, right? While we might not think that we are consuming more energy, during hotter periods, our appliances work extra hard to keep us cool.
And this is the thing, right? How do you tell a customer or an end user that during a heat wave such as the one that we're experiencing right now, that we must curtail on the use of our ACs or our fans
So
or refrigerator?
that's
The
a
number of
good
times you open the refrigerator door, right?
Yeah.
That's a good question, Isani. But the thing is, so what BL is telling customers, we are not telling customers don't use energy during the heat wave.
Right.
That's not what we're saying. Use your AC, use your fan to keep cool, but use it responsibly. You know, we're talking about responsibility. The same thing applies. Use energy responsibly and minimize the excess use of unnecessary energy usage.
Right.
So what would be an example of using energy irresponsibly during this heat wave?
So let's talk about using energy responsibly instead. We want to focus on the positive, right? So one of the tips that we can give our customers is simply with people that have air conditioning. A lot of times we want to max out the level of AC. We want to make it feel like it's winter on a hot summer day or on a hot Easter day. Change your habit a bit. You don't need to have your AC blowing at 16 degrees Celsius. Change it a bit, put it to 25 degrees Celsius. That will be about 78 degrees Fahrenheit. That will still keep you cool. It's still achieving its objective, but you're not overusing the energy consumption. Right? Another thing is if you're going outdoors, especially a lot of people are going to the Keys, to San Pedro, to Key Cocker. They're leaving their homes. Make sure that you turn off your appliances, unplug your devices before you leave your home. So that's a couple of tips. There are a couple others as well. Like for example, did you know that washing a full load of laundry will consume the same amount of energy than washing a small load of laundry? We know that Belizeans, we like separate our colors and all of that, right? So, but try to be mindful of these little habits and try
So are you taking aim at me?
Are you guilty?
If I want just one shirt, I wash just one shirt.
Right. Your
Or
favorite
you can
shirt,
do it
right?
on hand. You can wash it on hand and then line dry it.
I agree. Now, I love where this conversation is going. We decided to take the positive route, of course, on tips that we can give our viewers on how to conserve energy. So what would be those general tips that you'd give the viewers?
So in addition to the ones that we've already discussed, there are a few others. For cleaning your fans, for example, is one way. Make sure that your AC is serviced as well. Cleaning out and changing out the filters to make sure they're operating efficiently. Turning off your lights, of course. Opening a window, letting in the fresh breeze. I know the breeze sometimes comes in very hot, especially during this time. But if you can open a window and let natural light in, let the natural breeze in. And especially for an office setting, encourage your staff to turn off their computer devices. I know a lot of times we tend to have the habit of just keeping our computers on. I've been guilty of this in the past. I'm working on an important thing. I don't want to shut off my computer because I'm getting on it the next day immediately. But try to get into the habit of saving your documents, turning off your computer devices, and unplugging your appliances.
I thought you were going to say turn off the AC. What?
No.
Thank God he said turn off the computer.
No, but that's the thing. We're not telling customers don't use energy. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying
just don't waste it.
Yes,
right,
yes,
correct. Use it responsibly, use it efficiently, use it where it matters, and cut back on your energy, on the unnecessary energy usage.
Don't go opening the fridge and standing in front of it trying to get that fridge AC.
Exactly. It's a good thing you mentioned the refrigerator, because one of the things that drives up energy is if you have a small little crack on the door of your refrigerator.
The rubbers.
Right. Make sure that your refrigerator is properly sealed to ensure that cold air isn't escaping, and then therefore using more energy, especially during this time, that we're passing through a heat wave during this Easter time.
There's
And
a
very
perennial, sorry.
sorry. Very importantly, teach our children as well.
Yeah.
You know, they're the ones who would probably go in the refrigerator every minute to get some water. So you have to teach them about energy conservation as well.
Right.
There's a perennial complaint, right, from, I would assume, from most of us customers, right, that perhaps this time of year our electricity bill goes up, right?
Right.
But it's not for want of being irresponsible. It's the simple fact that to battle the heat, we have to keep our fans on. Like, for instance, I am on vacation, but since the start of my vacation, I've been in front of the fan more than anything else, day and night, right? So I tell myself, okay, well, I'll expect to have to deal with a higher light bill at the end of the month, but you can't really avoid it. It's the same thing as if though you're at work, the AC remains on, even if we're saying, look, when we leave the room, we need to turn it off. But we come back to the room at some point and we want to have it cool enough. So we leave it at a certain
Or don't open the door.
Or don't open, yeah, exactly. So it raises the
well, exactly.
cost.
So you're on vacation right now. You're using the fan more often, but there's other ways that you can reduce your consumption. You're not doing work. You can unplug your computer devices. So it's this balancing act that you can do at home.
That is
Even if you're on vacation, make sure that you're still practicing energy conservation, right? Even if you're at the hotels.
Yeah.
The climate is changing. That's a reality, and it has increased it has changed how we use our energy consumption. It impacts directly the energy sector, and it's something that's happening globally, not just in Belize.
Right.
It's interesting that you would mention hotels, because there is this mindset that Belizeans have, right? That once they don't pay that $400 for that 2 nights, they could leave anything. But as irresponsible as that is, right? You do have hoteliers and their management that put the signage there. You know, if you're leaving the room, turn off all the appliances or what have you. So it's there as a matter of being conscious, right?
Yeah.
That you have to be able to conserve energy.
And there are implications for that as well. I'm sure you're familiar with the situation. If you're following BL Facebook updates, you would know that we reached a situation in San Pedro where we were reaching the max capacity for the submarine cable. Of course, BL, on our part, we're doing our part to manage the situation, and we have plans in place to address the situation permanently by installing more capacity in San Pedro via a mobile gas turbine, installing battery storage capacity, battery storage solutions at strategic locations countrywide, including San Pedro, and installing a second submarines cable to San Pedro, which will increase the energy capacity by almost 3 times the amount. But as climate change would have it, as Mother Nature would have it, the projections by which we had planned out all of these strategies were broken by the record heat waves. It has exacerbated and made even more impertinent to expedite these processes, right? Even though these plans were in place, the climate change had a different plan. 2023 hit us with a curveball, and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon, right? So this is the situation that we find ourselves in. So it's a good thing that you mentioned the hotel industry, because although we might think, okay, well, I'm just going to be, I already paid for my room, I'm going to be using up all of the energy that I can to make the most of my money, but that has implications also. So we have to be mindful and we have to be conscious about that.
I saw something really interesting at a hotel, I believe it was the last month, where, you know, most hotels now, they give you kind of like a key card. And this hotel, you had to use the key card into a wall to allow energy to be turned on. So if you leave the room, you obviously have to take your key card, so everything shuts off. So that was really interesting, and perhaps other hotels could implement something like that, because that's an excellent way of conserving energy, I believe personally. I don't know if I could do something like that in my house, but I think it's pretty cool.
Well, one thing's for sure, you've been to nicer hotels than I have. I haven't heard of that, but that's really interesting.
It
That's
is
really
true.
interesting,
The
yeah.
very same key card that you get to open the door, you put it into this slot thing on the wall, and all of a sudden you're able to turn on your light. You're able to turn on the AC. But once you take it out and you leave, all of that shuts off. So it's really cool.
It's a good way of regulating consumption.
Right.
All right, so let's switch it up a bit. Let's talk about these products on
Yes.
display here
Yes,
and
so
how a lucky viewer can win them.
Of course, so we want to get your viewers engaged as well, and to be more proactive in how they conserve energy, particularly during this Easter time, and particularly during peak hours, which is generally between 1 to 2 p.m. and then 6 to 8 p.m. So let's have a quiz for your viewers, right? So we're asking your viewers to list 5 ways, and we talked about them during the segment, but list 5 ways on how they can conserve energy during this Easter time. And the first person to comment those 5 energy tips, 5 energy saving tips, 5 different energy saving tips, will win this package. That is really your starter pack for this Easter weekend, right? you have your fan, your desk fan. You have the cooler bag, your drawstring bag, your rag as well. So something for
your cup to be hydrated.
yes,
right?
that's important, right?
Yes.
I wanna talk really quickly about the purpose of a dehumidifier. I mean, I'm assuming the name speaks for itself, but how exactly does that work to cool you down?
I think Isani
Yes.
Isani should tell us about this because he has used this product and he says he can vouch for it.
I can stand behind it. All right, so here we go, right? So BL gave me one of these nifty little items, and I didn't know how to use it at first, right? Then I realized it's very straightforward. There's one little knob that controls if you're going to dehumidify, if you want the fan to actually do its thing. I think what is great about this, aside from it being portable, is the fact that you could set it up anywhere. So if you're on your laptop or your device, it runs on USB, so you could plug it directly into your computer or your laptop. And since you're working at table height, you get that air, right?
Cool air? Is it
Yes.
cool air? Is it just
Yeah, and it functions at different speeds, which is good too, because you could go from like the minimal to the highest, right?
Right.
And while it does not rotate, once you get it in a position where you're getting the maximum out of it, can't complain.
All right. Well,
Right? So I stand behind it.
Well, you heard it right here on Channel 5,
the
right?
lucky viewer that answers the question in the comments, they get to walk away with that nifty little item there that Isani is endorsing himself, alongside, of course, other items on display on the table right here. We want to say thank you guys, of course, for stopping by and reminding us the importance of conserving energy. Do you have any final words that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, nothing more than to say thank you both for allowing us to have this conversation. It's very pertinent that we have this conversation at this time when we are going through the Easter weekend, the Easter heat, and the increased activities in our consumption during this Easter weekend. So you want to make sure that customers remain conscious of how they use energy during this time.
All right.
And
well,
be
I'm going to...
safe responsibly,
Right, correct.
right?
And be safe, yeah.
Exercise responsibility when
Yes.
you're out there.
All right. Well, let's throw some answers that we got to you guys, and you can let us know if they're correct. So we have Serena Hushner here saying, 1, use economy settings on your washing machine for small loads or laundry, which is not very dirty. 2, if the weather is fine, dry your laundry outside. 3, try not to leave phones or other items charging overnight. A few hours are usually all that's needed. 4, towel dry your hair so you don't have to use your hair dryer as much. 5, appliances like your TV, DVD player, and game consoles use energy even when you're not using them. I think I lost where I was. Even when you're not using that. Some appliances can use up to 90% in standby mode, which in some homes is the equivalent to leaving a 100-watt light bulb on all year. Wow, she sounds like she works at BEL.
Right.
Or she does her research, right?
Yes. But
Or she
what do we
follows
think?
BEL
Yeah.
What do we think about those answers?
I will accept it.
Yes.
Those are some really solid answers, and good
Yes.
job to that viewer.
All right. Well, Serena Huchner, you are the winner of the BEL
right,
package. Please
Good job,
let me know
Serena.
what you think about the humidifier, because I might just be purchasing it myself for the Easter heat. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it as always. And we know that the core of this conversation is, of course, around conserving energy, not only for ourselves, but for everyone else.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
correct.
yes, yes.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to take our final break, and when we come back, there's not so much more safety conversations, but it's still in the theme of Easter, because we're jumping into some of those Easter meals that you could be cooking or eating this holiday. Stay with us. We'll be right back.